7. Barrett outside the switch. Doncic goes all out. Great step. And then he hammers it home. Broke his ankles.
There we have it, Knicks fans. Knicks come out the W 121-99 at Madison Square Garden. And this win feels good. I get it. They have no James Harden, and they also have no Christian Wood out with an injury. Of course, Harden traded over to the Brooklyn Nets. Of course, big-time trade there. But the reason why this feels good, only true Knicks fans will understand this. We all know this feeling entering games like, we got to win this game. This is a winnable basketball game, but we always end up losing these games that we should win, and we end up winning these games we have no business of being in, and we went on to take care of business and go on to beat the Houston Rockets, which was huge for this basketball club. The Wizards game, we would have blew that lead if that was the past Knicks with David Fizdale not making any adjustments, and the same thing with this Houston Rockets game. They started chip back into this game, but Tom Thibodeau called some very good timeouts, and we actually made adjustments, and he held these guys accountable, something David Fizdale wouldn't have done. But a big shout out to Joshua Craig and, of course, Buzzer Beater for being great members of the channel. I really appreciate your great amount of support. You guys decided to be members, and that's a big-time optional thing on this channel, and I just really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for the great amount of support, continuing to support me, and looks like the Knicks might be moving in the right direction. But anyway, let's start off recapping this game. In the first quarter, first couple of plays, it seemed like the last game. We're allowing easy entries down low in the paint, just like the last game. And I wasn't really that concerned when it came to no Mitchell Robinson. I get it. Some people like Mitchell Robinson a lot because he can guard the perimeter. He's a good shot blocker. Still has to fix some things when it comes to the fundamental side of the basketball. Boxing out. He's a talented player, though. People think I really hate Mitchell Robinson. I'm critical of every single player on this team. If it's Randall, if it's RJ, if it's Mitchell Robinson, because I expect more from these players. I know they can be better. It's called being, I'm not going to say being a true fan, because I know this can be optimistic, those types of fans that are cheerleaders with pom-poms in their hands, and they're not going to point out the obvious. There's different types of fans, so I'm not going to say that. But I'm just going to be real with you guys all the time. I'm not always going to say, yeah, the Knicks are moving in the right direction. If we bring back Derrick Rose next year as a starter, I might be real with you guys. We're not moving in the right direction. He's not our future. But anyway, we're allowing easy entries, and Mitchell Robinson, Nerlens Noel, they're kind of similar centers when it comes to being limited offensively, but they're very solid defensively, even though Mitch can guard the perimeter. But taking a look at this Houston Rockets team with no Christian Wood, no James Harden with the trade, take a look at a guy like PJ Tucker. He's not a big-time scorer, but he can hold his own defensively. You have a guy like John Wall who can get buckets in this basketball game. But I'm going to say this right now. I thought Elfrid Payne did a very solid job on John Wall. Did I think there were some miscommunications or not the greatest of switches when it came to RJ Barrett and Elfrid Payne? Yes, I really do think that. And they did a really good job, the Houston Rockets, allowing those switches to be happening. Because as much as we love RJ Barrett, or RJ Barrett obviously needs to improve, we're going to get into him at some point in this video, those switches shouldn't be happening. RJ Barrett can't keep up with a guy like John Wall. Elfrid Payne had the one possession. He was playing very good defense on John Wall. They called a foul. I thought Elfrid Payne reached in. I know you could say it's really soft, but that's what the NBA is nowadays. I know John Wall ended up with 26 or 28 points on 9 of 20 shooting, nearly 50% from the field, but we pretty much kept him in check the entire basketball game. PJ Tucker had 0 points in this game. I believe he only had 2 or 3 shot attempts in 31 minutes. But we know Tucker's not going to get crazy buckets all the time. But they didn't make a lot of threes in this basketball game. Of course, that was their forte last season, the small ball type of lineup. But they have this kind of brand new philosophy now with no more Mike D'Antoni over there. But I thought we did a very solid job defensively. I'm very proud of the way this team played. Payton played well, in my opinion. I'm not the biggest of Payton fan, but I'm not going to be a fake fan and be yeah, Payton was shit. Who cares? Who cares? No, you have to give credit to Payton. He's a Knick. I root for the Knicks. I don't root for individual players. I don't root for individual players to fail. I root for the team. And if you're playing well for my team, I'm going to call it out. And Elfrid Payne played very solid. You could hate on Payne, but he played solid this basketball game. I really have to admit that. He was very aggressive. He worked downhill. I really liked his style of play. He made the right plays when it mattered most. He's going to have his moments that he's like blocked and he looks ridiculous, but I thought he played a very solid brand of basketball, in my opinion. And don't be surprised if he's brought back next season as a guy off the bench, not a starter, off the bench, because Tom Thibodeau must really respect his toughness. You see how hard he plays out there. At the end of the day, we hate on Elfrid Payton, but it's Tom Thibodeau's decision to start him, and the entire coaching staff of Johnny Bryant, Kenny Payne, and even more. There's a reason why he's starting in the NBA, and there's a reason why Quickly's coming off the bench, because it puts him in the best position to win basketball games. But anyway, Randall hit timely buckets in this game. His shot looks so much smoother than last year. It's unbelievable. But Nerlens Noel, I was really scared he wasn't going to be good enough offensively to win us this game. But I'll take 10 or 11 points, whatever he had in this game, from a guy like Nerlens Noel. Like RJ Barrett, he's forcing himself at the basket. If I give advice to RJ Barrett, let the game come to you. Don't force the issue. Like, don't force it. Like, there's several plays. It's like he's forcing himself at the basket. He plays at his best when the game comes to him. Get to those mid-range shots. Probe around. Look at the basket. That's what his forte should be. But he had 5 assists, so he did contribute in another way. But another not good shooting performance by RJ Barrett. But he had really nice dishes to the rim of Nerlens Noel. I thought Nerlens Noel did a very solid job in this basketball game, needing where he was good at knowing where to be on the floor. Bullock even started off very strong for us from beyond the arc. I was just very happy with this team, the way they started off. And you know who gave us that spark once again? You know who gave us that big-time lead, a reason why we won by a lot of points? Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickly came in this game. At first, the angle I was watching it from, it looked like Derrick Rose and just Alec Burks was coming in. I was like, where's Quickly? This is what I was scared of. If we bring in Derrick Rose, no minutes for Emmanuel Quickly. But no, I was like, we came back from timeout, and I was like, okay, thank God. But anyway, Alec Burks, it seems like ever since he came back from that injury, he's been crazy inconsistent, and he's not been playing well. He shot like 1 for 7 from the field, had like 2 points. Like, he's missing some open shots. I think he might be traded like at the deadline. We'll see what happens with Alec Burks. He is kind of an injury-prone player. He's like showed that throughout his NBA career, but he's also a productive player you'd like to keep as a veteran. But Derrick Rose and Emmanuel Quickly in this game, some people are like, both these guys are too ball dominant, but it looks like their chemistry is amazing. The way they communicate out there on the floor. Derrick Rose was scoring it. He wasn't being like a ball hog out there. Emmanuel Quickly at one point was shooting 100%. He was like 5 for 5. He was amazing. And the thing that I loved from Emmanuel Quickly, I love the floaters, don't get me wrong, but he needs to learn when to take it strong to the basket. And he did that 2 consecutive times. He had an and one-on-one. And we know Derrick Rose is this guy that really goes to the basket strong. And I wonder if Emmanuel Quickly's learning that from Derrick Rose. Like, oh, I should add that in my arsenal. Because we know he's a young, smart dude. He knows what he has to add to his game. But I loved how Emmanuel Quickly played in this game. He was absolutely unbelievable. I love how he played in this basketball game. Derrick Rose as well. He played hard. He had some tough floaters. Like, he always does that weird hook floater thing like we always saw with the Knicks. But Derrick Rose played fantastic. His shooting has been like way past than like what I thought. Entering, he's a much better shooter than he was with the Knicks, and I would not mind bringing back Derrick Rose. I know he's probably going to want to be on like a championship contending team, but if he continues to play like this, I would not mind bringing him back, like coming off the bench, being this mentor, because he's communicating well with guys like Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly. And Obi's another guy I was proud of in this game. Does he still need to get better? Yes, he has a lot to work on when it comes to his game. Shoots way too many threes, but Tom Thibodeau's philosophy, if you're a good enough shooter, not like he wants Mitchell Robinson shooting threes. If you're open, shoot it. And that's what Obi Toppin did in this game. Eventually, he did make one towards the end of the game, but I loved his patience in the post. That's something we've been just preaching with Obi. I think he has potential in the post. He needs to get stronger, but it's patience. It's patience, not rushing up the hook shot. And when he's patient, there's more touch on a fadeaway jumper or from the post. And I thought Obi Toppin did a very solid job in this game. And Derrick Rose quickly got like Obi Toppin just meshed so well together coming off the bench. I know people want Quickly to start, but is he playing? Yes. Is he producing? Yes. Then we shouldn't be complaining about Quickly not starting. Some of the best players don't start. Look at Lou Williams. Look at a guy like Tyler Hero. He comes off the bench. Like, you could still be a very productive player. You don't need to start to be productive. Some people think like just starting someone equals development. We started Kevin Knox. Where was the development with Kevin Knox? Like, there's way more to producing and developing a player. You see the development of Obi Toppin, how much patience he's getting and how more fundamental he's getting on the defensive side of the basketball, and he's not even starting. But anyway, you take a look at the Rockets in this game. Like, we were manhandling them. Then I believe it was like in the third quarter towards the end, John Wall turned it on. Like, there was miscommunications of switches of Peyton and RJ. RJ definitely did not do a good job on Wall, but Wall's one of the fastest point guards we've ever seen. David Nwaba started to get things going as well. They did a good job cutting without the basketball. They're playing fast, and it was kind of scaring me because I was like, oh gosh, please hold on to this lead. But then, gosh, I love Emmanuel Quickly and Derrick Rose out there. Like, it makes the bench so much better. This offense is so much better. That was the big thing. Our defense is good. It's top 10 in every category in the NBA, but how good will this offense be? Will it help us get to the playoffs? And Derrick Rose and Quickly are bringing such a big spark that I'm not even mad that Quickly's not starting, especially the way Elfrid Payton's been playing the last few games. It just looks beautiful out there. Emmanuel Quickly hit some big-time threes in this game. This kid's confidence is just so insane to watch, and I was very proud of this team. Taj Gibson did a good job as well, like coming in as that backup five. He was producing, spinning, and winning, as Walt Frazier says. Just very proud of this basketball team. Nothing to complain about, in my opinion, when it comes to Tom Thibodeau and this win. Let me know down below your thoughts and analysis. Let's go Knicks, baby, and peace out.